Hello again. All right. Coffee's too hot anyway. Serenity now. Okay. So I'm at this place in my life now where I don't really want anything new to come in. I'm not desiring anything new to come in this way of like adding to what is in my life now. I want what is in my life to produce a new life. And I think that's living by faith. And this is certainly not the road that I thought I was going to be on, where he has crushed me until now faith is the only thing that I have. But now, in the crushing, there seems to be this investment, this value that gets applied through suffering to your life. I'm speaking for you, I'm speaking for me, where now what I'm interested in is seeing what I have reaped, what I have sown, what it will reap. So I'm interested in the harvest. And anything beyond that I don't really care about, right? And so it will be a reflection of the faith being in this condensed place where I've been in this process that has crushed me, that I believe is going to catapult me into the new. You know what I'm saying? And so from that way, like in the place that I'm in now, it's like, no, I've already been doing this shit for a really long time. I'm not interested in adding any new methods, so I don't need any advice. I'm not looking for answers, that sort of thing. I think this is where you will become, like where you will become confident in your walk with God as he strips things away and you find that it's just faith. And he has you in a specific process. And he says, this is all that you need. So whatever your version of walking around the walls of Jericho, you will find honor in this place. You will also find suffering, but that's what will make it valuable. See, this is what God has been like showing me or something. One second. It's like people want the oil, but they're not, a lot of people are not willing to be crushed, right? To pay the cost to get the oil. So I think at some point, what you have sown, you will reap, right? And so what you have sown in tears, you will reap in joy. There will be an oil on your life. There will be an anointing, and this will be very attractive to people. You'll be shiny like you're just covered in oil or something. And people will see you from afar and say, wow, how do I get some of that oil? And they'll want to buy it off of you or find some kind of method to get it themselves. And you will be like I will be like, it's like, no, it will require a crushing to get this oil. I was crushed, like grapes are crushed or olives. How do you make olive oil? Yeah, like olives, right? Olives are crushed, like it's crushed. The process of the crushing will actually make the oil. Okay? And so you have to be crushed to have this oil. And so you can't just buy this oil off of somebody. And it's like, and that's where you will find great honor in your life. Because it did require a crushing. And in the crushing, you did have to suffer. And you have sown in a very particular way that doesn't seem to make any sense. Right? You have been in a process that God has had you in for the longest time. But now there's an investment in it. And a great investment in it, because I want to kick my dog because he's snoring. I can't tell if you hear that in the video or whatever, but straighten up. Because that's what I believe will happen. And if I believe it'll be kind of an annoying thing as I turn away people or something. It's like people will want what you have, but they won't want to do what it took for you to have what you have. Like there has to be an origin story. There has to be a character development. There has to be a death before there's a rebirth. Like there is a cost to this. And I'm not talking about like salvation or whatever, because that's free. It seems to be free. Like Jesus has said, anyone can come to me. But when you start to follow him, and you are on this narrow road with him, and God is speaking to you, right? And he's calling out who you are becoming. And he has you in this process where he is producing that, who you are becoming. Then you will become. And then when you already are, and other people are still doing their own thing, because that's just where they are. Because not everybody's in the same place at the same time. I think that's what actually makes helping others a thing. Because one person is in a different position, the other person's in another position. Right? And it will be the witness that came out of darkness that will be the witness to the darkness and said, I was rescued out of this darkness. Right? But I could not get myself out of this darkness. Here, I'm comforting you the way God comforted me. He is in control. It takes me being in a different position for me to be able to offer that perspective to you, that perspective that you need because you feel like you're in a dark place that I was also in. But back to the anointing thing and this oil, this attractive oil that may be on your life. At some point when God says it's time, people are going to find that attractive. They're going to want that. But you can't just get it. You have to be crushed to get it. And in crushing, it's going to cost you. I had to laugh because I think God just has a beautiful design that just kind of like, it exposes what someone's like, I guess, willing to do or something. For me, I don't feel like I had a choice in this way of just like, I just knew how desperate I was. I was set up from the very beginning. We'll see what that ends up becoming, I guess. And that's back to the original point of this video, I think, which was like, I'm not interested in doing a new thing in 2025. I'm interested in enjoying the fruits of my labor from all of the years prior. In a sense, I'm interested in retiring. I would like to retire now. And that doesn't mean I'm going to go play golf. It may mean that I go and do a bunch of things, but I want those things to be a snowball effect of the sowing that is already endured, the things that I've already gone through, right? I'm not trying to just put on new things and go into new problems and stuff. I've had it. I've felt it. I've felt a lot of suffering. I've had a lot of dark days, a lot of down days, okay? That you will accumulate so many of these and just like, I have my measure now, all right? I have my measure. And now the crushing is emitting this oil, right? And so there's actually something that I'm getting from my trouble, you know? And that's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in the oil. And I think that's what you will become as you walk with God long enough, or for a time, you will become more established in who you are. You will find, I like what I like because of this reason. And this was revealed to me by him, the one who always knew me. Right? So I know what I'm about and I know what I'm not about, and I'm not playing around anymore with what I'm not about, and I'm not out there looking for answers or advice from people that are still wandering around and trying to figure it out for themselves in the dark. And that may sound all these different kinds of ways, but I myself was wandering around looking for answers and looking for a daddy in the dark. Daddy in the dark. That's fun to say. But I'm no longer anymore, because that my time is done wandering around in the dark looking for answers, believing I'm lacking. Because I did that for a time, and I suffered in that place. And I went through the processes of God, with the process of becoming, coming into knowing that I've always been whole. My righteousness in Christ, like these things cost you. But when you have them, and I expect to have them, solid in my hand, I'm going to be like, yeah, how'd you get to where you are? I mean, in a real sense, I didn't. But in a very real sense, I did. I didn't. It doesn't really matter. Because it cost everything, but it's not some place that I could get myself to, which killed me. I said yes to the crushing. Like you will have to say yes to the crushing. Right? Whatever that crushing looks like for you, it may not look the same for me, because God is smart. He seems to be a genius. He doesn't have just one narrow road and that's the whole road. That would be the broad road. No, my narrow road's going to look different from yours, but you're going to find honor on yours like I'm finding honor on mine. And you're going to find that, you know what, this measure of faith, this place that he has me in, this process, this relationship in the process, this place that I'm with him in is enough. It's enough, it's enough, it's enough. Nothing needs to be added to this place. And I think that's a precursor of you coming to know of your wholeness in him, where after trials and tribulations, there has been character that has been produced, and now the end result is you are no longer lacking. What happens when someone is no longer lacking or believing that they are lacking? They are not tempted the same way anymore. They are free from things that they weren't free from before, and they're no longer susceptible to the things in the air, right, that sound good, that can deceive people because people believe they're lacking, and so they try to add something. They're looking for answers. You're no longer looking for answers, because you went to the one in your weakness and found, okay, God, I surrender my life to you. And he's like, narrow road, crushing, but you're going to get the oil, and then you're going to find that you're whole, and then you're going to find that you don't need answers the same way, so you're not going to be susceptible to being deceived the same way. You're going to be free from the whole game. plan